Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV, where we are currently standing in Sharlayan and do a special quest chain. Well, probably just part of it because it's pretty long. With the end of Endwalker 6.0 main quest, and shortly thereafter, I think, was introduced Tataru's Grand Adventure, where we help our friend Tataru to start her new business. Or rather, help it pick up. Good. Small business, big dreams. Desiree Klingwa, welcome, welcome. I'm Magina, assistant shopkeeper and apprentice seamstress here at Tataru's boutique. I doubt you remember my face, as I'm merely one of many who owe you our lives, but you will always have my gratitude for saving me that day on the Ablan Rime. You're too kind, and while I hate to ask aught more of you, please say that you're here to assist in Mrs. Tataru's new endeavor. What exactly? Not yet, but she soon shall be. Whatever would we do without your penchant for turning up precisely when you're needed, huh? Now, to make the long story of our solvency short, we've secured the resources to produce the new designs and developed in cooperation with guilds near and far, in sufficient quantity to meet the rising demand. We cannot rest on our laurels, however. To serve passing adventurers and the occasional intrepid Sharlayan is all well and good, but we're hardly taking the world by storm, no. Much like yourself, we must ever look to new horizons. The science prove that cooperation on a star-wide scale is possible, and we would be fools not to capitalize on that to build the grandest trade network in the history of Hydaelyn. All for the greater good, of course. Yes, this is a wonderful opportunity to bring people together. I often think back to that incredible moment when the Garlean army came to our rescue. Perhaps our efforts too will one day lead to a miracle like that, which took place on the Ablan Rime. I have no doubt that they shall, but you mustn't expect such alliances to form themselves. We must be proactive, and who better to woo our future partners in commerce than our current #1 customer, you. Our erstwhile comrades in arms know that when it comes to good equipment and better ideas, few have such a keen eye as our adventurer extraordinaire. Even should they hesitate at first, I'm certain you can convince them using the samples I've prepared. Well, I see that my mind's made up. But of course, with your assistance, we have both coin and goodwill flowing in no time. Everything is falling into place. Where shall we send Desiree first? Don't you worry, I have it all planned out. First, Limsa Lominsa. Ziggard has the bloody executioners working harder than ever, so he's sure to appreciate some extra supply. Next, Gridania. The seedseers are a source of trusted authority and insight into the Shroud, so we'd not go amiss in cultivating the investment of, say, Arun Senna? I tell that he has some interest in affairs abroad, so the novelty of our samples may persuade him to our side. As for Ul'dah, I feel confident in pinning our hopes on Pippin. He's always been a stalwart ally, and it goes without saying that he has more than a little sway in the Sultanate. Between his involvement with the Immortal Flames, the Syndicate, and the Colosseum, he is bound to find a use for quality accoutrement. With that out of the way, Magina, would you do the honors? Free sex for us. Never let it be said that Tataru is stingy with her samples. Now, if you make your way to Limsa and climb aboard the Astalicia, I'm certain someone will point you in Ziggard's direction. I have my own avenues of inquiry to attend to, But I check in periodically to see how your journey is coming along. Let's get to it. Good. To Limsa Lominsa. No. I recognize you. What do you want? I'm looking for Sigurd. Long as it's not about another bloody apocalypse, I don't see why not. Wait here. Well, bugger me. Thought we'd seen the last of you for a while. What brings you aboard? Your crew seems busy. No rest for a wicked and all. We're getting so many shipping requests that we've hardly put down anchor since old Charlian. You know, there was a time when I thought pirating was the whole world. But being the best of them all meant something. Going to Isabad made me see how small my world was, compared to the real one. Standing next to the stars' finest, I started to wonder what I had to brag about. When the bloody executioners went and did me proud, by bringing in a bigger goddamn haul of adamantite than anyone else in the realm. Between that and the new metalworks we've got going for Kobold, and the Sargin looking to export their own wares, it seemed like the right time for the executioners to change our sails, so to speak. Which is all to say that if you got wares for promoting, I'd be happy to show them off across the realm and beyond. Masterworks from Tataru'sa's boutique, guaranteed by the Warrior of Light herself. Almost seems a waste to wear them. Folk would be lining up at the docks for these. Literally, seeing as old Charlian is only accessible by sea. Now, if we got ourselves an exclusive shipping contract. I can see the coast clear as day. Now we just need a mana lane on board. He's right, useless when there's work to be done, but talk's another matter, and he still owes me one for keeping his sorry ass out of trouble. So I'll have him put me in touch with a few savvy salesman types on the continent. Sounds smart. Tataru'sa, I look forward to setting sail on this new tide of ours. Maybe winds are changed, guide us alright. Desiree, it's me. How goes our little venture thus far? Sigurd just agreed. Ah, Sigurd's eyeing the shipping routes, is he? All according to plan. But our work has only just begun. I'll keep up my own contacts while we work on Arun. I hear he's not often in the city, but I don't doubt that Mother Mion can snip him out. On my way. We speak again soon. Oh, Sigurd's been auto-late. Almost pleasant-like. Mother Mione. Why, if it isn't Desiree Klingor, struck with a sudden craving for eel pie, were you? Or is it information you fancy? I'm looking for Arun. Ah yes, word of our seedseers' comings and goings never fails to reach my ears. I'm told that ever since he returned from his foray to Isabad, he's been roaming back and forth between the Lotus Standard and neighboring communities in the Shroud. You'll miss him if you make for one or the other, like it's not, so I suggest you waylay him at the Blue Badger Gate. Waylay, huh? Arun! Curious. Might I ask why you're loitering at the gates, Desiree? And with such an enormous sack? I've been waiting for you. Offering you some goods. I admit you've piqued my interest. To integrate the traditional ingenuity of guilds throughout Eorzea in such a fashion is no small feat. As it happens, I'm of a mind to do something similar myself, assuming I can secure the other seedseers' approval. You're doubtless aware that historically, Gridania has placed the peace of the Tataru'sa in our covenant with the elementals above all else, often to the detriment of our relationship with other peoples. Yet, much as we are one with a shroud, are we not also part of a star entire? Our ventures in Garlemald made plain the strength of a world united. This attire you carry demonstrates much the same truth. Ah, but perhaps you assumed you would need to talk me around to the idea? If so, I apologize for the disappointment. If 'tis any comfort, I'm nearly as surprised myself. No longer am I content to hear the words of the elementals alone. I wish to know the voices of man. For our time in Garlemald has shown me that my ability to listen is average at best. These horns may mark me as gifted in the Tataru'sa, but beyond they inspire neither fear nor awe. I've been mistaken several times for a sailor, and may as well be one for all the difference my status as seedseer makes to those who want for succor. Yet it was the self-same insignificance that allowed me for the first time in my life to truly feel part of a greater whole. I'm but one life among myriads upon this star. I dare say I should behave accordingly. With luck, my elder sister shall agree. Tell Mrs. Tataru that her gift is accepted with gratitude, and she ought to hear from us soon. Guess who? Did you speak with Arun yet? Just now. Your timing is uncanny. That sounds promising. I'm beginning to understand what makes our seedseer friend tick. But we can discuss that later. You need to catch Pippin as his duties take him from Ul'dah once more. I believe he spends much of his time at the Colosseum, so perhaps he should pay a visit to the Gold Court? I'll be awaiting your full report at the boutique. Colosseum Usher. I see, Marshal Tarapin is currently engaged in another meeting, but I shall tell him that Desiree awaits his convenience. My apologies for keeping you waiting. I did not expect you here today. Come with an offer for you. Tataru is offering quality material, is she? I can hardly say no to that. It fits almost too perfectly with my plans for the flames. I have long striven for mastery of a blade. I required the trials of Ilsebat, however, to truly see Tazona for what it is. The fire that warms the coldest night, the spark that ignites a blaze of hope, and most of all, an unbreakable testament to Father's faith in me. More ally than tool, it's a treasure beyond price. Does every soldier of the Immortal Flames not deserve allies such as this? Arms and armor to remind them of what I fight to protect? To help them stand when they might otherwise fall? Indeed, works made possible only through the ingenuity and dedication of allies across the star may be just the sort of inspiring armaments we need. I anticipate that I will be sending along an order for custom equipment along. In the meantime, would you mind if I can use these samples for a few trials here at the Colosseum? That's fine. My thanks. We shall put them to use immediately. As a child of Ul'dah, however, naught strikes fear to my heart like the prospect of receiving valuable goods for free. I must insist you accept something in return. I had been meaning to give that necklace to Tataru. Its poor condition aside, she might rather have it than not. What do you mean? Poor condition? Necklace? What? I've spoken with Tataru at some length about our pasts, you understand? In many ways we are quite similar. As you may recall, her family was bankrupted when she was very young, a consequence of her father's business failing. They were forced to put all their wealth toward paying off his debts, and then some. One asset they reluctantly parted with was a necklace treasured by her mother, for which Tataru had long searched to no avail. Strangely enough, I recently discovered jewelry of this very same description amidst a store of neglected Colosseum prizes. Assuming it is the same piece, I would like to see it returned to her. It is significantly worse off for having changed hands, though, and only the sapphire centerpiece remains unlost and undamaged. She may appreciate the sentiment nevertheless, but it's difficult to say. What do you think? Could it be repaired, or perhaps remade? Possibly. Either would be a sight better than leaving it in its current state, at least. In that case, I considered asking the Goldsmith's Guild, but you ought to be able to turn the necklace into a piece that Tataru would wear, if not precisely what she remembers. I imagine you will have the opportunity to pick up gems and other suitable materials on your travels. From there, it's merely a matter of unifying the pieces. Are you willing? Sounds great. A great idea for our friend. A great idea for our friend. Then I will have the sapphire removed from its setting and sent to the boutique with all haste. I doubt even Tataru would dare open a private package addressed to you. Best of luck in finding matching materials, and in your mercantile endeavors, of course. May the traders guide you to fortune fair. And we're back. You returned. With your back all the lighter for having given away our samples, I hope. Speaking of which, a parcel from one Pippin Tarapin arrived not belts ago, addressed to you. Could it be that our newfound partnerships are already bearing fruit? A secret gift for Tataru. Her mother's necklace? Why, that's a wonderful idea. Please allow me to assist. I swear I won't breath a word of this to Mr. Tataru. I do wonder what parts you will need. Do you know what style Mr. Tataru prefers? If his necklace is to be a keepsake, why not focus on that? Apologies, I could not help but over here. That's quite alright, but do please, keep your voice down. What was it you were saying? It simply occurred to me that, since you are gifted with sapphires so readily, our other partners in this endeavor may wish to offer up something for Mr. Tataru as well. With such gifts, you can turn the necklace into a memento of not just her past and its trials, but her present successes as well. That's perfect! If our plans for a boutique proceed apace, we should soon have more than enough tokens from friends across the sea. What do you think, Desiree? Well, well, were you waiting for little old me? Mr. Tataru, we are just discussing the successful delivery of the samples. Yes. Got to hear. How fares dear Pippin? You seem confident. I knew it'd come through. Though I admit that I wasn't expecting to outfit a whole host of Immortal Flames quite so soon. I suppose it goes to show that even the most hardened warriors can always learn a thing or two. And Secret and Arun have changed as well, if your tales are any indication. I imagine the personal growth bodes well for that of our network. Thank you for checking up on them. We must sort through our current commissions before deciding who to approach next, but I know I can count on you to be ready when we are. Now, the continuing quests of this all have at least most of them have a requirement for having done certain side quest options, usually trials, alliance raids, stuff you don't have to do, but most players do. But that will be along the next several episodes of this. And until then I say, until next time, I'm Mace and don't get lost.